like to say hello to everybody. I know we're stuck in unprecedented times where, we're in the house during COVID, and then, the thing that happened with George Floyd and, social injustice. We just got a lot going on. But I just wanted to make sure and, to let everybody know, I hope everybody's safe and healthy with our families, and making sure that we're holding each and every one of us close, and trying to get through these tough times with COVID and social injustice. And, with that being said, I guess we should go straight into questions. Obviously, we have, a ending to our season, which is very unfortunate for us, but, it is what it is. They made a decision on not taking us as one of the teams, and we have to, try to figure out how we're going to be innovative as far as how we're going to get together as a team, and how we're going to work together as a team. But I'm free to answer your questions right now.
Okay, Thad. Thanks for that. We will get started here with Cheryl Ray Stout with WBEZ Radio.
Like for you, having two young sons to talk to deal with what they are obviously witnessing, and you as a father to them.
Can you repeat that question?
What is it like for you to be a father of two young sons, African-American sons, and knowing what you've gone through in your past? What's it like for you to deal with them and talk to them about the recent events and going forward?
I mean, for me to talk to them and get them to understand what's going on, obviously when they come up with a question, it's very hard to answer that question because, I don't want them to have to grow up and fear for their lives, or have to grow up and understand that they can't do the same things that other people are doing. That's one of the toughest things to be able to tell your kid. You want to give your kid the world. You want to get him to understand that, hey, you can do whatever you want to do, but just in these times, it's just not the same. You can't do everything that somebody else is doing. And if I want to be specific about it, the black kid, you can't do everything that a white kid is doing. But at the end of the day, those are the things that's very, very tough to talk about. But it's the harsh reality, and we have to talk about them. My kids are still young, 6 and 9, so they understand certain things that's going on, but not entirely everything. But for me as a father, that's probably one of the toughest conversations to ever have with your kids, and they are asking questions because it's so much stuff out here on social media, so much stuff out here that's on YouTube, which is what all the kids are watching now. And when they see a video pop up of different things that's happened, my youngest son, he asked me the other day, that man, Daddy, and it's hard for me to answer that question because you don't want to put them into the harsh reality of what it is, but you have to answer all the tough questions, and you have to have those tough conversations with your kids. So it was definitely hard, and what happened is definitely saddening for me, but it also scares me to death because I have two young boys.
Do you feel that what's going on right now, that things may be more in a positive future?
I mean, it's so early right now just to see if there's going to be change. One of the things that I do see is that we have some unity coming. We have some people that's getting together, and we have these protests. People are coming out and letting their voices be heard. You have a lot of celebrities that's following suit. You have a lot of very, very influential people that's following suit. So the good thing is that we have a lot of people that's speaking up for change and speaking up for speaking up for freedom and peace. So the good thing is that we do have that going on now, and we're bringing more and more people together. And one of the biggest things is to continue to do that, continue to let our voices be heard, continue to stay together, stay unified. and also, make sure that, we do what is right and, steer everybody away from doing what's wrong.
Thank you for your time and be safe.
Yep. Thank you. You too.
Okay, Thad, our next question here is from Joe Cowley with the Chicago Sun-Times.
Thad, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing, Joe?
Good. Not to change the subject, and obviously that's something that's so important, but as far as the business of basketball, obviously the talk in Chicago is now that the new front office is in place, what happens with Jim Boylan. You've had a year or a shortened year with Jim. Do you think he deserves a chance to come back and coach this team, or as players, have you guys seen enough? And now that they've changed the front office, maybe it's time to do a sweeping change all across the board.
That's not really a question for me to answer. I think that's more up to the front office. Obviously, Jim is very energetic. He's probably one of the most energetic coaches that I've played for. My job is to go out there and basically help lead this team to try to win games and play to the best of my ability each and every night. And it's the same for each and every guy down the line and on the list. So I don't think that's a question up for me to answer, but that's something that you would have to ask, Mark and our tourists, and let them answer. But for me, like I said, my job is just to go out there and, whatever coach I have at the time, to let him lead and we follow. And, if he's giving us the game plan, to go out there and execute the game plan to the best of our abilities and make sure that we're playing as hard as we can. And for me to, make sure the locker room stays together, make sure I help lead the guys and make sure I'm there to be very, very encouraging towards the guys.
Thanks, Thad. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yep, no problem.
Thad, our next question comes from Casey Johnson with NBC Sports Chicago.
What's up, Casey?
You and yours are safe. I just am curious what kind of interaction you have had with Arturas and Mark Eversley to this point, and what those conversations have been like.
Oh man, they've been great. They've both been keeping us abreast of each and everything that's going on, especially during the time where we were trying to figure out if we can get back into the gym or not, or during the time where they were figuring out who's gonna go to Orlando. They were great. They would keep me abreast of the whole situation, calling me, each and every day or every other day, and just making sure that they were very informative on each and everything that was going on. They've been great so far. Arturas is very, very good as far as communicating. Mark is great. He's a great communicator as well. And those guys have been great so far on the job. Obviously, this is a situation where, they can't really do their job because we're not playing basketball. And I'm sure they're anxious to really get on the job and get a grasp of things. But they've been great so far as the communication between me and all the players. They've been reaching out and talking to us all and making sure that they're staying in sync with us.
Thank you.
Thad, next up here, we've got Eric Woodyard with ESPN.com.
Hey, what's up, Dad? How you doing, man?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
Pretty good, man. Same thing I asked Zach earlier, man. You guys, by the time y'all have been played in December, it'll be about 10 months, 9 or 10 months since y'all last played. So, how do you plan on staying sharp, throughout this time? And, what are kind of the expectations as y'all shift forward to next year?
Just continue to try to work out as best as you can, especially with COVID still in full effect. But, just doing things like yesterday, we just moved into a new house in Texas. So I was literally putting together a whole in-house gym floor to get my weight room going and stuff like that since we moved to another house. But, just doing things that can keep you in basketball shape, which is, running outside, running on the treadmill. If you can get into a gym and get some shots up. Obviously, being out for 10 months, rest is always good also. You've had a lot of time to rest. So, you have to find a way to try to get some type of work in. For me, being in my 13th season, it's probably added a couple more years onto my career, actually, being able to sit out for 10 months. But for me, I just try to stay in shape, try to continue to do something each and every day, and then just try to continue to try to work and make sure that you know I'm still in sync with the team as far as them putting together a program for me to do.
Appreciate you, man.
No problem.
All right, next up is Darnell Mayberry with The Athletic.
What's up, Dad? Thanks for doing this.
No problem. What's up, D?
I'm curious. I want to go back to something we talked about with the social injustices. You and Zach have both talked about using your voice, using your platform. People are listening right now, and my question is, what would you say to your fans, particularly your white fans, who might not understand what it's like to be in your shoes, and what would you say to them on how they could be part of the solution as opposed to part of the problem?
I would just strongly encourage them to, just make sure that, if they're on our side, which, they should be, because what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong, to, get out and show that, we're a unified group. We're together to show that, they support what we're doing. They support our movement, just to be behind us, and do the right thing, and also, on down the line, teach the younger generation, on their side that, this wasn't right, that, you should treat everybody equal. You should look at everybody the same way. And, you never talk or speak down on anybody, nor do harm to anybody. So, those are the things that, and also to, fight for what's right, fight for the right thing and do the right thing. So those are the things that I would probably say. Obviously, this is a tough time, and it's hard to try to, deal with this and talk about it. But, we do have to continue to fight, and we do have to continue to bring everybody together to fight with us in order to try to create some type of change.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Do we have any other questions here? Cheryl, go ahead.
Dad, have you talked to other players and their concerns about the virus and what the league is going to be able to do or not be able to do to make it safe?
I mean, obviously, everybody has a concern about contracting the virus, but you have guys that understand that we have to play also in order to keep the league moving forward. But for me, I worry more along the lines of my family aspect of it. We have a young league, and a lot of these guys that's in the league, they don't have kids, or they don't have a family. They may have a girlfriend that they're dealing with, and besides that, it's just kind of them. So it's different words for different people. My word is more along the lines of me being with all the other guys, and then coming back home to my family. Like, what was the exit strategy? So those were some of the things that I wanted to talk about. If we weren't to continue to play, or we were out of it, for me to have to go home and quarantine myself for 2 weeks away from my family, that's tough. When you've already been away from your family for a month or a couple months. So for me, that was the biggest thing that I wanted to kind of talk about. Obviously, I want to play. I know all other guys want to play, but we all want to play under the safest procedures and the safest environment. And those were some of the things. I think the league is doing a good job as far as trying to make sure that they keep it as safe as possible, as far as going in and getting testing and making sure that guys are social distancing even when they're at leisure, having leisure time. Making sure that some of our older coaches that's in the league are wearing the face mask and staying away from everybody else, and as far as trying to coach and stuff like that. So I think they're trying to continue to think about this, and I think they're putting something in place to where it can potentially work. But if it doesn't, then those are some of the things that we just have to continue to try to talk through. But I've been on a lot of calls where guys had major concerns, and they answered a lot of the questions, and some of the questions they couldn't answer, and then some of the questions they said, well, look, COVID is there. It's gonna be there for a while until we get some type of vaccine for it. So those are some of the things that we have to face. It's the harsh reality of it, but this is life right now.
Thank you.
All right. We've got Casey Johnson again. Go ahead, Casey.
And I'm actually just curious what your reaction is to the return to play format that was ratified, with the 22 teams and you guys being on the outside looking in.
For me, it's I would say it's twofold. Obviously, I wanted to play. I wanted to be a part of it. But another side of me was worried about being away from my family, or if they were to even come down. Just me being around everybody in general, playing basketball, and then going back to my family, and not knowing if I've contracted the virus, or not knowing if my family has contracted the virus. As I've said before, I have 2 young kids, and I have a wife, and my major concern is their health. Me personally, I think I can fight it off, but I don't know. I don't know if my kids will be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if my wife will be able to do that. So I don't want to put them in harm's way to where it's a situation that they contract the virus, and I just wanted to be as safe as possible. And by the way, if you hear some snoring in the background, that's my son. I'm in the car right now, so sorry about that.
Thank you. I'm all good.
Yep, no problem.
All right. Mike McGraw with the Daily Herald. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Thad, I'm not sure if we mentioned this, but I just wanted to ask, have you stayed in Chicago during this layoff, or where have you been?
So I was in Chicago for about a month and a half. I drove through Memphis, came to Texas. So I stopped in Memphis and stayed in my condo for a little bit, and then came to Texas right after, and been here ever since.
Mike, did you get all that from Thad? Thad, I think you got muted for a second.
Oh, I stayed in Chicago for about a month and a half, 2 months, through everything. Just trying to wait it out and making sure that if something was to happen, I was in around all of our healthcare providers, and making sure that everything was okay. And then I took off and drove through Memphis for a day.
Hey Bulls fans, thanks for watching. For more videos, just check them out right here.